This video covers the IGCSE Biology Objective 2.1.5 on the 2025 CAIE syllabus to state that new cells are produced by the division of existing cells. So there are three ways that you need to know as far as the formation of new cells. The first one is with bacteria cells. So bacteria cells divide by a process called binary fission, and it is diagrammed here. And basically what happens is a bacteria will copy its circular DNA and its plasmid DNA, which is not depicted here in this diagram, but both of those genetic materials will be copied. Then the bacteria cell will divide into two separate cells. All of the parts will be divided up, and each new cell contains the full copy of the genetic information. So here we've got the pink and the purple. So the pink was the original, the purple is the copy. The cell then splits and divides, and you've got a cell that contains the pink copy and a cell that contains the purple copy, and that is called binary fission. This is what is done by bacteria cells. Then we've got fungi cell division. Again, remember that fungi are things like yeast. So this is an example of yeast. Okay, so fungi do what is called budding. And so if you start at the starting position that I've labeled here in the diagram, you can see the process of what actually happens. But so basically this is where the copying of the DNA and the division of the cell actually occur simultaneously, where the new cell projects out of the original cell. So if we go through this diagram from the starting position, you can see what is called the bud start to form off the right-hand side of the yeast cell. And in the same way, we can see as we go through the process, there are steps that you don't need to know, but as we go through the process, about halfway through, we can see that the nucleus itself also is starting to bud into the new part of the yeast cell, into the bud portion, and eventually the nucleus will complete its bud and will completely separate, form a membrane-bound nucleus around each portion of the copy of DNA, and then the bud will then separate off of the original cell. And so that is called budding. Plant and animal cells do something a little different. This is called mitosis, which we'll go into a little bit more detail later on in the syllabus, but you can see here the basic process of what happens to form a new cell. And so this is a process that produces what are called daughter cells. So you produce two daughter cells, each having a nucleus that contain the same number of chromosomes and identical DNA to the original cell. So if we look at the original cell, there are 4 components of the DNA, which are called chromosomes, and those chromosomes are going to copy themselves and then split into the different hemispheres or sections of the cell, and then the cell will divide in half, and then each new cell has 4 pieces of the chromosome, which each of those are identical to the original, what is called parent cell. And this happens in both plant and animal cell division.